Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, analysts, and content creators, and we have another HCS report where today we're going to be talking all about Complexity's new roster. And just in case you haven't been paying attention to the Halo world over the last few weeks or so, you probably already know that because of Spartan's actions over at London, not only did Complexity get disqualified, but on top of that, Spartan has actually been banned for the rest of the year. He's ineligible to play at the moment for HCS tournaments. Now, he plans on appealing that, but however, because of those actions, Complexity were forced to not only drop him, but it looks like they're electing to go a different direction than Descendant as well. Descendant actually came into my stream today and said that the separation was more of a mutual one. He feels like it's best for both sides. A very mature response coming out of him. Obviously could have been Complexity choosing this, but I will say Descendant is an amazing talent, and if you look at some of his stats, lots of times he was the leader in that department, so I'm sure Descendant will end up bouncing back. But not only does Sparty create a hole on this Complexity roster, but on top of that, you see that Descendant being gone creates two spots on Complexity. So let's talk about who is going to be joining that roster. Right off the rip, we're going to go into a little bit of a mini scrim that happened literally just yesterday. 3-1 in favor of Complexity over this new look roster that we have here, where it's Common, Haynes, and Breaking Shot have been teaming together for a little bit of time now, but looks like Super CC Evades is going to be joining them. I believe Super CC Evades at one point, I could have swore he retired from 4v4 competition, but was still going to be competing in other things, Halo, maybe streaming a little bit, but I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But either way, we do know that Super CC Evades is joining Breaking Shot, Comet, and Haynes, at least on a trial period, to go up against this new Complexity roster, which was the first screen that we've seen since the changes. You have Ryan Noob, you have Huss, and joining them is Rain coming out of retirement, maybe a bit of a short retirement, and then you have a mystery fort, or also known as Super Secret Player. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but this core three that we have right here looks like they're going for more of a very good support role, very good objective efficient role, very good communication role, because all three of these players have fantastic communication, and then joining them would probably be somebody who can complement that play style well in a 3-1 in favor of Complexity over Team Haynes. Not bad coming out of Complexity, at least for their first little mini scrim. Let's check a second one. By the way, whoever this mystery fort is, we know is not Super CC. We know it's not Breaking Shot. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Coming up next is Complexity versus our, I guess, to be announced roster, which still could be that Proton Gaming roster with a bit of a new look. Taulik, Druk, Last Shot, and Cherished instead of Collect. It looks like, and from what I've heard from other sources, is that Collect was actually dropped from this roster, and now Cherished is getting a bit of a run with them. The former Apex professional player, a very good player, and had a very good London event as well, now getting a shot with Last Shot, Druk, and Taulik, and that's going to be really interesting to see what this potential Proton Gaming roster is going to look like. I really had a lot of faith in Collect joining that Proton Gaming roster, because I felt like his playstyle perfectly complemented Proton as much as Proton complemented him. So was really surprised to hear that potentially this roster would be going a different direction, especially only after one tournament. In that tournament, I mean, you got placed in a pool with SSG, obviously the #1 seed going into that tournament. You were able to take a game off of them, the only team to do so. Going into lower bracket, you ran into a red hot Optic roster, which obviously 3-0'd you, but there's nothing to hang your heads low about there. Then going to lower bracket, 3-0, very good SWAT a SWAT Latin American roster featuring a very good tapping buttons, and then you ran into Quads, which Obviously, they lost that match when they got knocked out of the tournament, but Quadrant literally not only had the hometown crowd with them, but on top of that, they had a freaking marching band. So I don't know. I feel like I would love to see Proton Gaming, kind of grind it out and see where exactly this win. But, we'll see. We'll see where things go from there. But that leads us to who exactly may be this mystery fourth or super secret player from this new Complexity roster. Really happy that Rain's out of retirement because he's a phenomenal player and just a great person. But who is their fourth? So I went back and thinking. At first, I'm not going to lie to you, my first thought process was, well, maybe Collect hightailing it off of this Proton Gaming roster in order to join Complexity as their new fourth. It made sense to me. However, Collect did end up coming into my stream and saying that he was not the fourth player for Complexity. And on top of that, we even had Ashes who confirmed in our stream chat that Collect was dropped in favor of Cherish for this Proton Gaming roster. Maybe they're lying, most likely not, but I think anybody on that old Still Deciding roster could be up for grabs. So, for example, King Nick, I know King Nick and Ryan Noob and Rain teamed in the past. Hey, who knows? Maybe they end up coming back together. Obviously, Ryan Noob did wanted to drop him for a reason back then, but we've seen players be dropped before and then picked right back up. So it wouldn't be anything strange, in my opinion, if King Nick was snatched up, especially with how good he's been looking with the banded rifle. On top of that, Rami obviously a part of that old Still Deciding roster, and also Monster. To me, Monster made a lot of sense because I know he had a lot of points, but I believe after London, 90% of the points was taken away from everyone, so kind of giving a bit of a clean slate right now going into the Split 2 as opposed to what happened in Split 1. Still, Monster kind of makes sense to me. Obviously, he's been with Complexity in the past. Looks like they're going for, again, 4 players that have great communication, that have a great support kind of instincts. I think Monster fits in really well with that. On top of that, Ryan Noob and Monster did team in a Halo 3 4v4 side tournament, actually at London, where obviously Complexity were DQ'd. Ryan Noob kind of cleaned house a little bit. He ended up playing in the free-for-all and winning it. And then on top of that, got second place in that Halo 3 4v4 tournament. That was alongside Monster. So, that makes sense. Even maybe a diagram if they want to add a bit of slaying power to there. Then maybe even think a bit outside of the box. Maybe like a tapping buttons could be really fun to watch. Or them just stealing a player from a roster that we don't expect. I mean, obviously, this player is running on a Smurf for a reason. He probably doesn't want who his current team is to know that they're planning on going a different direction. I would love to see some young talent. I would love to see maybe an international player slide in. Like, who knows? Maybe some young talent, like a Piggy, for example, or like we said, international talent, like a Tapping Buttons, or like maybe like a Wootum or a Snipe Drone or something gets sniped from another region and brought over to North America. That could actually be really cool. But either way, Complexity going with a bit of a different look now, and obviously this new Proton Gaming roster looking very good, a 5-1 in favor of them, and it just leads us to question still, who is this mystery fourth? Who is this super secret player? If you think you know, let me know in the comments down below, and of course don't forget to like, subscribe, and like I said, leave a comment and interact with the video. The more you interact with it, the more the YouTube is going to push it out to people that may enjoy this type of content, and I want to make sure it gets out to as many people as possible. Keep you guys up to date with the HCS world. We have another video tomorrow where we talk a little bit more about maybe Collect and where he could potentially be going, because obviously he's going to be a fairly highly sought after free agent. So until then, peace out.